Hey guys, this is BMS and welcome back to more Let's Play Castlevania 3. To jump right in here, we're introduced to one of the two main gimmicks that the game uses, and that is the branching paths. Those of you that watched any of my hardcore videos or any of the playthroughs in the Dectilon's thread, well, this is pretty much the same gimmick with the alternate paths. The only difference with this game is that it doesn't affect the ending here. But different paths have different characters that can join with you. There's a couple of other small details that pop up from the path selection, but we'll tackle them as we get to them. Also, take note that the Clocktower here is done a little differently from any other Castlevania game, where it's usually one of the later levels, more often than not the penultimate level. Here, it's the second level in the game, and it's not even required for that matter. The only reason to come here is to gain access to one of the extra characters. Also, take note of the music, which is titled Clockwork. I mean, I think it really fits this level well, and it's one of the more underrated pieces of music in the entire series. Whoa, just a little close with the knife there. You know, that was one of my biggest worries in this run-through, was killing an enemy and accidentally picking up a weapon that it would randomly drop. A lot of close calls. Now, this room, in addition to some of the tricky jumps from the pendulums, also has some rather quick spawning bats added in the second quest, and they can really ruin your day if you're not careful. Normally the bats take a couple of seconds to respawn when one flies off the screen, but in the second quest, they respawn immediately after one flies off. So in the room with bats, you're basically being bombarded by them, and they fly a little faster than normal too. Something to pay attention to is that the background in the stage has a lot of moving sprites, and if you're not paying real close attention, you'll lose track of either yourself or an enemy that blends in really well, and, well, you can have problems from that naturally. And Mother of God, more skull heads in a room with insta-kill spikes. Wonderful. Also, do you like how the little bastards are trying to dodge my whip there? Yeah. Levels where there's small platforms with bottomless pits or spikes beneath, these guys are really fun. Even better is that some levels have those really long, straight run-throughs on a floor made up of those little flip blocks. You know, where if you jump, the block will flip and you'll fall down. They like to throw these guys in those rooms too. Bastards. Well, we're almost there, but not before another room where we have to go through a tedious climb while dealing with the skullheads. Great. Honestly, I mean, there is no surefire strategy that I've been able to figure out to deal with these guys. The thing that I've found that works best, I mean, albeit it's going to sound a little redundant here, but just keep moving forward and get out of the room as fast as possible. I mean, generally, as long as you're moving in some direction, they'll have a harder time hitting you. So, take it for what it's worth. And that right there is the biggest problem with these guys. If your luck is like mine, then they'll hit you when you're on the edge of a platform, and more often than not, knock you into a pit. For whatever weird reason, though, I got lucky. Anywho, let's grab some delicious health-restoring wall meat there, and we're at the boss. Okay, so the boss of the Clocktower is, naturally, a Quasimodo knockoff. Technically, he's named Monster Grant, which will make sense in a bit. Now, he's got a couple of attacks. He'll follow you around the room, climb on the walls, the ceiling. He'll throw knives at you, but on the ceiling, however, he'll drop axes, so just kind of mind where he's at. All in all, he's a piece of cake, and like most bosses, you can stun lock him with the holy water if you choose. Anyway, that's really all I've got on this guy. I mean, as slow as he is, just make sure not to get hemmed up in a corner, and you shouldn't have any problems with this guy at all. And with that, once you whip him enough, we knock him down in here into this rather curious position there. Okay. Now, in your first playthrough, this is where he'd transform back into his human form, and he'd be your first playable character you could take along with you, Grant Danasty. But, second quest, you don't even get that option, so we're just going to go ahead and move on. Now, our shortcut, the bridge just collapsed there, so now we get to go back down the Clocktower. Oh, joy. Basically, it's the same way as it was coming up, except, you know, we're going down. It's a lot easier going down because the screen actually scrolls downwards, so you can take some leaps of faith, and you're not going to die. Which makes dealing with these little bastards a hell of a lot easier than it would be coming up. See, like that right there. Bing, bang, wada boom, we're done. You son of a bitch. Like I say, this place is the exact same as it was coming up, so you really should know what's coming and you shouldn't have too much trouble. Now this room that we're about to go into here, if you have Grant he has the ability that he can climb on walls and on ceilings and whatnot. And up there on that ledge inside those blocks is a 1-up, so the more you know. Now this room is made exponentially easier by going down, because I mean, it's these skull heads. You can basically just skip the entire fucking screen, which, you know, skipping screens with these little guys on it is always a good thing. And you can take this nifty shortcut here. Oh, nice. The pendulum room, I mean, you're basically going the other way. Unless you get really unlucky with the bat spawner there, you shouldn't have any problems, because as long as you make it here, you're home free. This one, easy peasy Japanesey. Nothing going on at all. Just kind of watch your step with this one armored knight here. Sometimes he'll change his direction midstream before he actually gets to the wall, and he can actually fuck you up there. So just kind of pay a mind to where he's at and what he's doing. This room, once again, much easier. Just make sure that you don't jump, you know, too fucking in the wrong spot, because you can fall down this bottomless pit here. But anyway, I mean, once you make it down here, that's it. Walk down the steps, you walk out, victory music, you're good. Kind of feel bad for leaving Grant up there all on his own, you know, kind of just laying face down, ass up there, but I'm sure nothing's going to happen to him. Anyway, join me next time. We'll be tackling Stage 3, and I hope you all enjoyed. See you next time.